Hi guys, it's Lean back for another video. In the last video I said that we were going to make a room on a double page spread like the one that was at the end of the previous video, and we're going to do it using the very simple things that we've shown you in all previous videos. Now this is my double page spread. This is the size of my cover file from KDP, which gives me my exact double size, and I'm just going to show you how to find your art on Canva. Now if you go into Canva and type in bedroom, you'll get these complete scenes, which are great if you're a little more skilled and know how to cut them up and make them into usable rooms. But for double page spreads, if you want it to be one complete scene, they don't always work very well as none of them tend to match. So we're going to make a room from scratch that looks kind of like this, but we're going to do it ourselves. It's not that hard. So on Canva, you can type in things such as singular bedroom furniture. Here we have a bed, which has already got a little unit attached. You can find single windows. There's every kind of furniture imaginable. When you're building a room though, you want to make sure everything that you pick is of the same style. So as you can see, these kind of match better than this one, and it's also a better perspective, the view that you're looking onto the bed. You want to try and keep everything in the same perspective and the same style. So I'm going to choose this bed, and this is going to be on page 1, and I want the window on both sides. So I'm going to show you in a little bit how I can use the same window. First, I'm going to add a grid line in the center of my page, just so I have a rough idea what sort of space on each page that I have. Bearing in mind in the center here you will have spine space, which will be hidden when the book is folded. Okay, so I'm just having a little position here. And the first thing I'm going to do is show you that you can create a floor using just shapes like this, a solid color shape. But I actually prefer to go in and type the word floor on Canva and use from their graphics some of their floors. They have multiples and you can use just about any, but you have to bear in mind when you enlarge it, it's going to enlarge the pattern, and it might not look right if you've picked something that should be a tile and ends up massive. So this one here I'm going to use as a wooden floor. I'm not worried about its raw edge. I'm going to go in and find a wall. Now you can make walls using just block colors or using textured or patterned colors, but they do complete walls on Canva like this with the skirting attached already. So I'm going to put that at one side. You do not want to enlarge the walls too much because it does make it look a bit silly. I'm going to duplicate, and using our little trick about matching images seamlessly, I'm going to flip that one so the skirting matches because it was a little bit different at each end. So I'm going to move the walls to the middle layer and the floor to the very back layer so it hides that rough edge. And there we have the walls and floor for our room. We can start positioning our furniture. So far it's very simple. So to ground my furniture, I'm going to add a little rug here. They have many rugs on Canva. The trick is to find one that matches your style and palette and move it behind your bed, but keep it above your floor and wall layers. I'm going to duplicate it to two sides of the room because I like symmetry. Now we're not going to add any shadows in this video because that's something that I've shown in previous videos, but I'm going to show you how to customize this little window. Obviously with two windows we can't have two moons. So I'm going to zoom in to the window above the bed, and I'm simply going to use our masking technique from our previous videos, and we are going to mask over the moon. So I'm taking a circle object here, and Canva was not playing ball here. I was clicking on the wall instead of the moon. And I'm going to cover up my moon with just a simple color. Then I'm going to go into the color change, pick the dropper tool and match it to the other windows. Now when you zoom out, you'll be able to see if you've covered it correctly, which I notice I have a little tiny bit of sliver of moon that I go back and adjust. Now that window looks very empty because all the rest have stars in. So once I adjust this to size, I'm going to go into the little search library here and type in star. Now Canva is really good at a lot of the things they use in their designs can be found as singular elements. These are the exact stars. I'm just going to resize them. Use the color change up in the corner and match it exactly to the other stars. Even though I could see that was a white star, I still prefer to use the color dropper because sometimes they're not true white, or it just might be misleading the color it looks. So there we have our simple basic bedroom, which is easy enough. Now we can add other things, some details to define each side of our room, I guess. Now this part is up to you. I like to take accessories in a similar style and match them in colour to things that are already on the page and just dot them around the room. Obviously using the shadow technique is a great help in grounding your items, but I'm not going to be putting any shadows in this one because the video will be far too long. I also want to add another piece of furniture in the center. Now this is where the spine will be folded, so it's not too much of a detail that I'm worrying about. I just want to fill that space to add more interest to my room, to my page layout, so that it definitely looks like it's one room and not two halves that are not joined. Sometimes putting furniture in the middle where the spine folds is really good at just clarifying this is one room. So you can adjust all your pieces around until you have a really symmetrical looking room and everything fits in nicely, and I think that's a cute little room. So now I'm going to add Lou. Now we did the bed with Lean in the previous one, so I'm just going to repeat the steps for Lou just to go over the things we learned in our grouping video, which is you can take a simple little character like this and easily settle them into a bed using cushions behind their head. I don't like that one, it's got an outline, it does not match. So I pick these ones which are much better matching and look okay with this palette. Bearing in mind, a lot of these items you can change the colours too, so you're not stuck to the palette that they are shown as. Just pick elements that are changeable. I'm going to find a blanket to cover up our little Lou bear. This one stands out. Very cute. And just like I did with Lean, I'm going to find something to drape on her bed. Although Lean had one folded on the floor, I think I'm going to actually put one on Lou's bed because she's a little less of a rebel and unlikely to kick it off. Okay, now that I've decided that is the size of Lean in that room and everything looks proportional, now I want to make my scene more cohesive. So I'm showing you here, if you're going to download it at this stage, you do want to make sure to up your quality by a couple and download it. But I'm not done with this page yet. If you're happy with it looking like that, I'm just showing you here that this is, you would then take this double page spread just like we did in the previous video, and you could do the exact same thing with your entire page already mapped out. Now I was asked in a previous video why we only do that with the background, and this is the reason right here. As you can see, I'm pasting it, and what looked good on my double page spread and all nice and laid out, now Lou looks far too off to one side, and for me to change that I have to go and do the original again and re-download. It's easier just to make your background and have your front characters to fiddle with. So how I do that, I am just going to show you here. I'm just adjusting things because seeing that background on those two pages I wasn't too happy. I'm just adjusting everything a little bit until I'm happy, and I'm duplicating the page here. Now when duplicate the page, I'm going to remove everything that is not connected to Lou. So everything around her I'm going to keep. That is the things that I want to be able to adjust on my page. So I'm going to remove her from the original and all those elements. I've accidentally left the rug. I think I do go back. I'm going to group her together, as you can see. And I can then position her on the room away from the background, and that is how I would download her as a separate PNG with a transparent background along with my background page without her, which means that when I went to the next page I could move her. Now I'm going to dull down the colours. You've seen this trick in previous videos. This is just a little way of making Lou stand out. You add a white overlay that is slightly transparent. It will bring down all the colours, and then when you put your character over the top once more, as I'm going to show you, I'm going to copy and paste her. Oh, it copied and pasted my white instead of her. That's what happens when you don't click properly. You can see she stands out way more and the background is more muted, and I should have kept the rug and the lamp to match her on the other page because that is an equal distance from the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just copy that rug over, and then I'm going to just move my white and bring my lamp to the front. Now these are things that you can, just like I did with Lou, you can make on the separate page and keep as a downloadable grouped cluster of items that you can move around when you get to your other pages. So you can see it really stands out. It's much better than just putting them straight on top and downloading the whole page. Okay, I've returned to this to take away these rugs because I'm going to show you how much easier it is to adjust your files if you just save your background as a complete page and your little clusters of elements separately when you come to your master copy. So I'm taking this, I'm going to remove these ones from my master copy which had the rugs still on them, and I'm going to upload my file, and I'm just like before when we use our double page spread, I'm going to put our room on by enlarging them and making sure I get them to the exact size of the page, moving them over so they match up on one side. Then I'm copying and pasting it to retain the exact size and just dragging it over to the other direction. That just ensures your pages always perfectly match up. And one for some reason I had moved. So we have our 2 blank pages. And now we can just have a look and see that everything, it looks perfect, and we have our blank little scene to add our front elements to. Okay, so I made a matching Lean and Lou Bear's embeds from the previous video, and I'm just going to bring them in and move them around and put them in my scene. I enlarged them a little bit because I felt like it looked better and pushes that middle bookcase to the background. And there we go, I kept them as a little cluster. And they're so easy to move around that I can just scoot to my double page, have a look. If I don't like what I'm seeing, it's easy enough to make those 2 rugs match up by moving Lean down again. Sorry, yes, Lean. Confusing which one's which. As you can see, the rugs are now matching in line. And I can add any of my text elements to my story at this point. Sometimes at this point it's better to add your text because downloading text from one image to paste to another actually can make it a little bit blurry. It is much sharper if you put your text directly onto your master copy of your book before downloading it to put on KDP. I'm just going to add a little speech bubble here with a little good night Lou because, well, it's a book page and we have no text. That is how I'm adding words to this page. But on good storybooks, I'll show you in another video how we make the words stand out or position them if you have a busy scene like this. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you learned something from this. We kept it as basic as possible, and that is how to build a little room and bring your characters to your master copy. If you want any videos specifically made, leave a comment below. Don't forget to like, and we'll see you in the next video.